So the savage Alen Babic strikes again. He dispatches of Eric Molina in the second round. Now, I'm sure you guys have seen what there is to see and heard what there is to hear. There wasn't really much to this fight. It followed the pattern that everyone predicted it would. Alen Babic coming out like a madman in his standard fashion and bombing out the man who's renowned for not having very much heart. And that's precisely what happened. Eric Molina got dropped somewhat heavily in the first 5 seconds of the fight, which was, it's always peculiar and exciting to see a knockdown that early on in the fight. But Eric Molina, what was even stranger was the fact that he got up, kind of dusted himself off, and actually tried to have a go, which is strange because this is someone who's severely lacking in the heart department. He was put down by an overhand right by Alen Babic, who, despite his crude kind of fighting approach, he can generate some force in those shots. He doesn't have the worst punching biomechanics. He can certainly bang a little bit, and it'll be interesting to see how much that develops over the course of his career. But nevertheless, Eric Molina got to his feet and actually attempted some right hands. I outlined in the pre-fight video that Eric Molina, he has some decent power, and he's no stranger to buzzing his opponents at least once in a fight, even if he does really lack heart. And that's the thing. It's Eric Molina, and Hatman pointed this out. He has ability, and he has a decent chin. Like Eric Molina, he's not chinny. I wouldn't say so, but his heart it's non-existent. This fire is just not there. And but it was strange to see, because it was something that I was thinking in the lead up to this fight. Could we see Eric Molina have like a kind of a final stand mentality where he has a feeling where it's going to be his last fight, and he's just like, you know what, let me go out with a bang. Let me at least try for once in my career. And it looked as if he was going to do that, because in the first round he was trying some good right hands of his own, managed to tag Alen Babic a little bit. Nothing really put a dent in Babic, but it steadied him for a half a second or so. But then it got into the second round, and it's like the 1 minute break in between rounds. Eric Molina just went into a complete adrenaline dump, and his hunger for battle left him. And and then from there he was knocked down a couple times. I say knocked down in inverted commas. They weren't knocked down. He was just kind of bundled to the floor by Babic. But the incompetency of the referee, which we often see with referees in the UK, decided to count him out in the second round, even though it was quite clear, even from the referee's perspective, that it wasn't a punch that sent Eric Molina to the canvas. And quite pathetic, the stoppage, but to be expected. I think Molina didn't look particularly hurt. He was on his scouting mission to find the comfy spot on the canvas to lay down. So that is obviously the fight in pretty much its entirety. I think the talk now is where Alen Babic goes next. The three names that I've heard are Dave Allen, Hughie Fury, and a couple of whispers of Martin Bakole. In my opinion, there's only one logical next step, but even then it comes with a few caveats, and that is of course Dave Allen. And I can understand the marketing behind this fight, because it's supposed to be two styles that would gel quite well, but there's no point making that fight for the sake of it, because we're talking about Dave Allen, someone who's been in and out of retirement for a little while now, and as far as I know, he's been retired for, what was it, like 2 years, and he may have had like a little move around a couple of weeks ago or something. But you would want to make sure that he's at least in some kind of considerable condition before he goes in against the likes of Alen Babic. And so I can understand the reason behind that fight, but of course you'd want to see Dave Allen have one, maybe two more fights in the interim. And just so the fight actually offers something, and it's not just, dare I say, a repeat of, say, David Price versus Dave Allen. Because Dave Allen didn't show up for that fight, and it was just like watching David Price hit the heavy bag. And we don't want that same thing with Alen Babic. And so, as I say, that's the caveat for that particular fight. When it comes to Hughie Fury and Martin Bakole, I just think they're a couple of leagues ahead of Alen Babic in this current moment in time. And I just don't know how competitive those fights would be. Because clearly, to some degree, Alen Babic has a puncher's chance. But it's just, like, for example, with Hughie Fury, which I think is a more realistic fight. Because I saw today that Martin Bakole is actually in talks to fight Tony Yoka, I believe. So I guess we can kind of put that fight, kind of scratch that one off. So then that leaves Hughie Fury, Hughie Fury's obviously been in the lights with Joseph Parker, Alexander Povetkin, Kubrat Pulev, excuse me, been a long day. And he's lost those fights. Some people will argue that he didn't lose the Joseph Parker fight, but I think he did, even though it was close. But Hughie Fury's never really shown many... he's never really been lacking in punch resistance. He's been roughed up a little bit. It's not easy to kind of dog him out of a fight and get physical with him. But he's taken some clean punches off some fairly decent punches, and I just don't think that style gels well for Alen Babic right now. But if he takes it, credit to him. I'd probably still tune in and hope that's an entertaining fight. So nevertheless, it is entertaining to see the Savage train go onwards and see who he fights next. I think I've heard that Eric Molina has retired from professional boxing, which he really should have done a long time ago. As far as I know, Eric Molina is a teacher. He works with children who have special needs. This guy doesn't need to be getting in a boxing ring, because I know there's a whole argument, oh, do it for as long as you love it. But if you're going to display such a lack of heart, does that really show you love it? I wouldn't think so. So it's good to hear that this guy is retiring. He doesn't need to take any more of these beatings from 8-0 fighters. So farewell to Eric Molina, and all the best in his retirement from boxing. Alen Babic should be interesting to see who he fights next. What did you think of this fight, quote unquote? Let me know in the comment section below. Who would you like to see Alen Babic fight next? How do you think he does against the likes of Dave Allen? If Dave Allen is fit, how do you think he does against Hughie Fury? Maybe even Martin Bakole, you never know. Or who else would you like to see him in the ring against? Leave it all down below if you could like, comment, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Thanks for listening, and I'll catch you in the next video.